Good afternoon, traders. This is a afternoon follow-up from last night's analysis, and I want you to show you this because this is fairly amazing when you take the time just to look at these things and to prepare yourself for the opportunity when it presents itself. And I had spoke to you last night about the '06, '07 area being the 9MA, or make it the 18MA, I apologize, the 18MA, and with the big number being 65, and that was a 50 day. And a few things to take into account when you trade the ES is that often you can notice a duplication of the overnight session. And you could see how the overnight session hovered all night early, right before, pretty much before Europe opened, and rolled over from the 18 and made their way down to the 50, and they stopped. There was no way that the overnight session was going to push through that level. There's just no way. It's too early, and there's just no follow through. Everybody knows the significance of that number, and then they bounced and they rallied all the way back up to the 18, where we got a crack at it at 8:30 this morning, and lo and behold, we got that run up early, and look at how fast they rolled over. I mean, they just demolished it. And these are opportunities that you can take advantage of. And I mean, I talked about this last night, and I said take advantage of either extreme location in terms of which one presents itself first. And this was a short. I took this one. I'll show you the daily activity in a second, and look where it stopped. It stopped at the 50MA, and it spiked, and we're right back up into the 18MA. They made it over. They made a high recently, just now, up around 17. But let's take a look at the session, and I want to show you something else that maybe most traders who do trade the ES don't pay attention to, and you should. And you can see by all these arrows how often the ES will trade in a 10 handle pattern: 92, 02, 94, 05. And the importance of understanding that is that often when you get a 10 handle run up, and it's not etched in stone, but it happens often, and you can just see it here by how many times it happened just today alone. And you can just see that by knowing that you can almost prepare for the market to turn and look for an opportunity to go the other way. But this is for the scalper's mentality. I don't particularly trade this way, but there are so many opportunities, and this is kind of why I'm bringing this to the forefront. I mean, look at how many 10 handles. I mean, here was just a chop zone that literally stayed in a 10 handle chop both ways. I mean, the trend trader can just take advantage of this. It's a pattern. I mean, it's topping out at 97 and it's holding at 85, which was the early morning low. After we made the '08 18MA sell off after the big rally this morning. So here's another 10 handles. I mean, they just constantly provide this. And here's a little something an ES trader should also, and I mean, this is from this platform alone. I talk about this and when not to get caught up in profit taking. And that's always, you see how price stays above this blue ribbon, which is bullish. And you see how it comes into it, tries to lure all these traders right here into maybe thinking that's the end of this move, which is 10 handles, by the way. But the difference is price is going into this ribbon, meaning there's a fairly solid chance that this is going to fail. In fact, look at the momentum. The momentum never really rolled over. It stopped, and look how price increased and momentum kicked back in, and they rammed them up again. So these are little things in the ES that you can take advantage of. But for the most part, this day, for me, was a location day, and I believe in being patient for my areas and taking advantage of him. And, look at all these 10 handles right here off this double bottom 72 to 02. I mean 72 to 82. This is after we made the big low right here. And this was the buy right there. I took that, and I also took that morning high, and I'll be honest with you, I took it too early, and that was my mistake, but I took it again. So I never really got a chance. Like right here, I took it right here, and I should have been a little wiser because I should know better. When the ribbons like this, there's a chance that price is going to make one last run back up. It's not always the case, but you have to be cautious of that. And it did. And I got stopped out here, but I took it again here, and look how well this thing paid out. I mean, I basically just wrote it. I was just taking multiple handles on my short position. In fact, I rode these all the way down and down to about the mid 70s, and I just got out of everything. Um, and then it was about what we were going to do down here, and this is part of my game plan. It was to sell the 18 and to buy the 50, and that's exactly what I did. It was only trades I took today, and you can look at the results off of the 50. You know, I took out some profits up in here, and I stayed with them. I just moved my stop around, and once it bounced off of 72, off we were again, back all the way back up to 4,700. So these are little things you can pay attention to as a futures trader. At least the ES for sure. It's consistent, and the patterns repeat themselves. I talk about this really early in my videos, and it's really something that you should pay a great attention to. So this is today's trade. MR Strategies. Feel free to reach out, guys. This stuff is really, really easy to play when you have a game plan and you stick to it.